people, the quiet-minded who mind their own business in this country. You can be an activist by just being active on your phone, retweeting revolutionary wars, thumbprints of repetition, standing up for something without getting up from your couch, self-indulgent shouts with a global view, but boomerangs of wisdom from a bedroom in your house. This is a patriotic poem. Welcome to the United States of Anxiety. In this country, society tells us our credit should be straight while selling us the crooked path of commercialism. Here, citizens take CBD oil between awkward conversation and the constant chatter of the mind. Boredom is not an option. Silence is not sustainable. In the United States of Anxiety, Instagram spoons with insomnia. We swipe up and get out of bed, wide awake with sleepy minds, then daydream of FOMO and flat screens, the American dream. This is a patriotic poem. Welcome to the United States of Assumptions. In this country, the color of your skin allows automatic privilege. Land, money, power, health, monuments, legacy, generational wealth. Here, anything unfamiliar is dangerous. Anyone who disagrees with you is the devil. In the United States of Assumptions, any poet who screams about injustice must be an Obama-loving, hip-hop bumping, tree-hugging, emotional heartbeat-pumping soul of a man. On the surface, that may be true about me, but there's many more layers for you to see. Welcome to the United States of Aggression. In this country, we freely walk over broken bones in the basement of buildings built by the kidnapped and enslaved. Here, we walk on beautiful landscapes and dance on graves. Welcome to America, a walking contradiction. This is a patriotic poem. All right, judges. All right, y'all be cool. All right, so raise them and show them up. Show them to me. Yeah. We have a 7. We have a 9. A 9.5. A 10. Thank you. A 10. And another 10. All right. Scorekeeper, what is our score? 90. Oh, 9 point. Okay, nice. Thank you. So that's the score. Actually, I just remembered we actually add them up. We don't do the average. Yeah, just add them up. I just remembered that. So sweet. I got a 98. I guess that's awesome. All right. Are you ready for the poetry slam? Remember, give these judges all your energy. All right. First up to the slam is Erin. Erin is in the house. Let's give it up for Erin.
Hi. My poem today is called Thank God for Woman. What would our world be if there wasn't women? Who would take care of us if there wasn't women? Who would empower us if there wasn't women? Who would show people with disabilities it's possible to succeed if it wasn't for Helen Keller, the first person with deaf blindness to graduate from college? Who would show little girls they could be doctors if it wasn't for Virginia Apgar, who became an anesthesiologist and created the Apgar score? Who would show little girls they could be a part of politics if it wasn't for Margaret Chase Smith, who was the first woman to serve as a U.S. representative and senator? Who would show little girls sports aren't just for men if it was for Florence Griffith Joyner, who has unbroken records in the 100-meter and 200-meter sprints since the 1988 Olympics? And who would show girls that pain doesn't define you if it wasn't for Oprah Winfrey, who went through a childhood of sexual abuse and still became one of the most powerful women in the world? Thank you, women, for showing us we can be whatever we want. And the men, like Martin Luther King Jr., who stood beside them. Thank you.
Y'all, it's church up in here. Y'all learning some stuff. I should have encouraged you to bring like a notepad and take notes because you're learning some stuff. All right, judges, what do y'all have? They're probably scared now because this isn't an easy thing. Probably the last slam you go to. Okay, come on. All right, we have a 7, a 7.6, 7.9, 8.5, and an 8.9. You guys are great. This is awesome. All right. Judge, what do we have? Or scorekeeper, I should say. Scorekeeper. 25.9 for Erin, everybody. Give it up. Give it up. All right, our next poet up. Hope I don't pronounce your name wrong. Jerrell. Jerrell. Give it up for Jerrell.
This piece is called For the Ones. Here we go. One more march down the unprecedented road. One man marched for a monumental cause. One man walking while millions of souls guide the way. Oh, the path that we've come across today will be the sanctuary established for us. No more waiting. No more excuses, no more evading. This journey calls my name to rectify my brethren's life, to lift boulders upon my bare back, to carry the load that we've yearned so long. Oh, the pain does me no wrong. I say, we will win this war. Our aspirations will become a reality. For all the pain, agony, anguish, and gore, we will once again keep and control our own mentality. Because the young black man must rise. Rise up again to fight for the glory, fight for the truth, fight for the justice, fight for the dream, fight for everything that made you cry and plead, fight for the ones who were shot dead, who barely developed their own seed. Each soul, each step represents one soul lost. My first step is for the 4 little girls who died in Laura's house in the 60s. My second step is for the little boy who died for supposedly staring at a white woman. My third step is for the young boy who died for wearing a hoodie proudly while carrying a rainbow-colored gift for his kin. And my fourth step is for the young boy who was shot on sight because he was described as a man who carried a toy gun. My fifth step is for every soul you thought you could destroy, but yet they are still fighting with me. My feet, my hands, my body are in goal for the genealogy of all the heroes and activists who ever walked this earth. So I say to you, my brethren, walk on this earth with courage. Walk, crawl, run with me on that battlefield for the ones who died for you.
Why am I the poet laureate? I don't understand. This brother's right here. All right, judges. What y'all got? We have an 8.1, an 8.9, 9.2, a 9, and a 9.8. All right. 26.4 for Jerrell. All right. Next up we have Autumn. Give it up for Autumn. Yeah.
Good afternoon. This piece is called One Man Down, How Many More to Go? As I look at the past and the present, I've just got to say, as an African American, it's not safe for me to walk the streets on an average day. It simply hurts me to see that I might just threaten a man if I have a bag of Skittles and some Arizona tea. Thus the story of Trayvon Martin, which goes to show, there's one man down. How many more to go? Now, I would hate for you to think I'm for racial discrimination, but the words that I say are because I'm tired of the dark clouds cast upon our nation. As I move on towards the Walter Scott situation, I realize a cop shot a man who fought for our nation. Now, poor Officer Slager said he felt scared, but was he more scared of Walter Scott, the man he shot, or the court after they found out he lied when the video aired? But to some it didn't matter, and those signs let us know that some said we've got another man down. How many more can we get to go? Yet when people protest, they chant, all lives matter. But it's very rare that I hear about someone of another race's bones being shattered, by the police at that matter. And if the world may ask, then we have to let them know. They've had one more man down, and we can't let any more go. We shall overcome. Words of the great Dr. Martin Luther King, the man who wanted us to come together and let freedom reign. Though we move forward, did we completely succeed? We must ask ourselves if we are truly stronger. Have we truly been freed? All issues we shouldn't question, and answers we should have known. Are we stuck or moving backwards from where we have grown? It seems like we have lost track of what Dr. King dreamed. We became complacent with our progress, and our equality isn't fully redeemed. The idea that we shall overcome begins with us. We must begin with love and stop the acts that have become invidious. This message is a start, and it goes to show that we would unite, love, and educate to let our dreams grow.
This is inspiring. This is inspiring. All right, judges. Whoa, okay. We have an 8.5, a 9.8, a 10, and another 10. All right. First one was an 8.5. They all look great. 29.8. Yo, come on. Yeah. All right, next up we have Kaleelah. All right. Give it up for Kaleelah. Come on, man.
My poem is called Blank. On this poem, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to write. My head is hollow. It needs to be filled. My heart is blank. I have no love. My heart is struck, but it gets blown away. My lungs are closing. I can't breathe. My veins are not filled. They are broken. Everything is under construction. I can't feel a thing. Please help me. My body is blank.
Everything is under construction. That's deep. All right, what do we have for Kaleelah, judges? We have a 7.9, an 8, another 8, 8.2, and an 8.9. $24.2 for Kaleelah. All right, next up we have Molly. Round of applause for Molly, please.
Hello. Hi. There we go. This poem's called Progeny. So, there are these fish called mollies, right? Well, from what I gather, the term's just a nickname. Everyone names mollies by their favorite cliches. Gold dust, red sunset, ghost pearl. But the interesting thing about mollies, though, is that whenever one dies, another somehow changes its entire anatomy to fill the space left behind. Everything about it becomes a clone of its predecessor. Its home, its role, its sex. I've always been enamored with this fact, now especially. You see, I've been named with a preconceived notion in mind. A Molly, me, is meant to be a clone of her predecessor, a her. There isn't any room left for deviation from the norm. Any mention of a he is automatically extrapolated everywhere but yourself. You can try and mutilate and compensate and reiterate all you want, but the facts are out there. You are a Molly. You can't be anything else with a name like that. I wonder if somewhere out in the Atlantic, there's a Molly that's like me.
Maybe it can't quite stretch its dorsal fin out far enough from its spine, can't quite straighten its lateral line nice and tall, it can't quite swim like the boys can. But maybe it shouldn't. Maybe it just needs to grow into itself, that's all. Maybe it just needs some time. It's only a juvenile after all, a small thing guys under a small pond. Mollies need more experience, I've been told. More days to get used to all the sharks out there, more months to spend swimming in circles, more years to venture out instead of settling into anything. It would be too soon, too fast, bad timing. That could be it. Maybe other Mollies just won't understand. Maybe it's just waiting for the right opportunity to present itself, the right lighting, the right ecosystem, the right climate, the right environment, or maybe it needs something in a more literal sense, something more concrete, a template to take over. But then I remembered that it is already facing an ocean of empty husks floating belly up, weathered against the mainstream current. It has the closets, the birth names, the Wikipedia page entries for transsexual murder cases, names left unrecognized and unimportant, and a table of contents. Lorena Extravaganza burned at the stake and exploited. Caden Clark cut open and shot in front of his service dog. The 3 unknown transgender individuals left off the teleprompter, murdered each day without so much as a misgender at their funerals. The cousins, conveniently absent for 5 Christmases in a row. The look in my mother's eyes as she watched an urgent news report on the Pulse nightclub shooting, asking why they were drawing it out for so long. And I remember being terrified of my own brain, asking it why it wanted to see itself dead, pinned down in a burning dress in some coffin, why it longed to make my body just another obituary to be glossed over in the newspaper. Now I realize that Molly's body doesn't need anything. Its mind does. It needs closure. It needs quiet. It needs some time. It needs a blanket to hide under if it catches a glimpse of itself in the mirror, a brain entirely separate from the body that's chained down in, a restless insomniac, eyes wide open, waiting for a moment to slip away as its parents. My parents jolted me awake freshman year, 11:30 at night, set on a loop track, asking why I wanted to wash the girl inside out of me, only to make myself a stranger. Target practice, shark bait, face down on a sidewalk somewhere, and I'm automatically drawn back to Molly. 7th grade. Just upwind of the news that her cousin is a he now. Wondering, just maybe, if she could do that too.
Can we all say, we love you, Molly? Wow. Wow. What a, okay. All right, so we have a 8.9, a 9.5, a 9.5, a 9.9, and an 11, which you're not supposed to do, but 11, which will be a 10, of course, yeah. Wow. Okay, where are we? 28.9 for Molly. All right, we have 4 more poets in this first round. Thank you all for being amazing. I hope I do not pronounce your name wrong. It's Keontay?
Keontay.
Keontay. Keontay is next. All right. Keontay.
title of this poem will be Gen Z. Being born in Generation Z, I can't be more afraid of my future. People talk about baby boomers ruining lives and millennials not having the economy on their side. Some of us are just getting old enough for jobs, but them being minimum wage, what's that going to get us? Are we supposed to see how much we can save for college, sucks it all up and send us to our graves? Graduate college and get your diploma. Okay, sure, but what if some kids decide to gun us? I'm a little bit terrified, probably the anxiety that I'm going to die never attributed to society. People are giving up before trying because a hopeless life is worse than dying, applying for our lives being taken away day by day to stay alive without bills paid. You can't blame the millennials. They had it just as bad, maybe worse. School only taught them what new to have to do with force. They never taught them how to save the economy. They never taught them how to prepare for you and me. Try harder, try harder. I'll try until I die, but it won't be farther. Then what, maybe a low-paying job that I serve without money for college is what I deserve? I'm nervous, I'm unfocused. If my grades are fine, then why is my mind broken? I've been told so many times that I can't. I don't know where to sit down and try to stand. If you have enough time to be protesting at Pride, then you aren't too busy to be gone from your kid's side. You can be anything you want to be.
She said, if my grades are fine, then why is my mind broken? Oh, yo. We have an 8.3, an 8.6, 8.7, 8.9, and 9.5. Yeah. All right. Squeaky. 26.2. All right, good up, good up. All right, 3 more poets in the first round. Ivy is up next. Ivy.
Hi. This is called Poetic Justice. Justice nowadays only seems to be a dream in which many stop believing and many stop acting upon. Poetically placed, justice is no longer conformity to truth, fact, or reason. Instead, it remains a false promise given to us since 1964. There we go. Blood spilled innocently, consequences are consequently not given due to proclaimed illnesses. Hatred can flow free, it seems to have come so alive it has a heartbeat in our streets. Where's the justice for little girls and boys caught between stray bullets aiming to complete missions? Or the adults on their 9 to 5 in offices thinking about dinner? It's crazy how our government kills those who murder, yet have the audacity to say taking lives of others is wrong. Poetically written, justice is now only a word that used to be. A word that used to have meaning. A meaning that used to justify vengeance and sent the message. Now justice is an empty action and got lost in dying movements. Poetically performed, justice was Malcolm X. Justice was Dr. King. Justice was every man and woman taking actions to the streets. Poetically remembered, justice was more than a date marked on a calendar. Poetically needed, we need to bring justice back.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake talking about bring sexy back. Bring justice back, bro. Bring sexy back. Where does sexy go, anyway? Somebody answer that for me. Anyway, sorry. Hey, I'm here. 8.2! 8.7! 8.9! 8.9! And a 9.7! 26.5 for Ivy. All right, next up we have Tianna. Pronounced that right? Yeah. All right, I did. All right, Tianna.
This always happens in poetry events. I always have to put it down like this.
This piece is called Kaleelah.
Mix all the colors and you get black. But why are all the colors mixing with us? Why is it only black
but nobody else. All lives matter is true, very true, but isn't black all the other colors too? Therefore it matters. We not knocking y'all saying this life matter over the others, but I don't see y'all fighting for y'all. Meaning just because y'all not fighting for yourselves, don't mean we can't stand up for us. We're not okay with things being corrupt. So yes, we're going to rally, yeah, we're going to rebel. Until we see a change, our voices we're going to continue to yell. Our stories we're going to continue to tell because we will be heard. This shouldn't even be a problem because freedom of speech, but funny thing is, we're not really free. So our speech is caged like a bird. People pick and choose the words that are being heard. We could say thank you, but somehow say F you. We could say you're so sweet, but somehow that turns into F the police. But people's created equal, it was in the documents. But people still kept slaves, I never seen to stop them. The law never really was on our side. It only stripped us of our pride and deprived us of our life. But let me be quiet though. Y'all don't want to hear me preach. Y'all not ready to be awake and be free. Y'all just like settling for less. Or maybe y'all will take action until it's one of your own. But the thing is, we're all one big family. So those kids that are out there killing is akin to me. That's my cousin somewhere far down the line. I don't care how far or how wide, but I will take a stand for African American lives.
That was our next president, Tianna. Come on, y'all. Got my vote. All right. Speaking of votes, judges. All right, we have a 8.6, 8.9, 9.2, 9.6, and 10. All right. 27.7 for Tianna. And our next player of the first round is Ramie. Give it up for Ramie, everybody.
This is called To the Moon and Back. When I was little, you insisted we play barbershop. I ran to the office and got real scissors. You cut my bangs off slanted. Still, I can't help but love you to the moon and back. Maybe that's why it takes so long for it to reach me again. Maybe it would be easier to love the moon itself, even though it's about 238,855 miles away. It's more consistent than a sister on a college schedule. Your life always seems to push you out the door. It's another party, a date, a new babysitting job, but the moon is there every night while you are gone most of them. During the bad days that I do see you, it always seems to be a bad time. Most of the days you are Molly Pitcher, Mary Reed, Joan of Arc, not running for help, but standing as a warrior, somehow forgetting that I am there beside you. You never seem to need me. I want you to need me. Those days make me forget about the ones when you're the miller's daughter, crying or laughing or singing to songs because someone that strong can't be human. Someone that perfect shouldn't cry at the bottom of our driveway with a broken heart. I know what I see is a curtain, like something most people put up, but the patterns are so beautiful that I forget about what may be behind it. I forget about how the moon is still so far away but seems closer than you. I forget about the older sister who uses her words as needles, making me nothing more than a pincushion. I forget about the "you're so horrible," but just stop it. I forget about what it does to me. Head down with a silent tongue that doesn't want to speak up. You're mad at me. Of course you're mad at me. You're fuming at the thought of seeing what you really do. I can see that little flame in your eyes as you take in words you were never meant to hear. Like a spark in the movies, but for the wrong reason. You want to help me, but this is on you. Well, that one's a lie. How could you? You don't know. It's on me for staying silent. On me for telling you to not just stop. It's always on me. It's my fault. My fault that anxiety is a ball and chain that you keep finding more weights. My fault that you can't understand how I see you. My fault that you didn't help when I needed it the most. They say there's a special place in hell for women who don't help each other. Well, it's not that you don't help me, you do. You taught me what a relationship looks like, what not to do, what the world looks like. But your help, it doesn't come without hurt. You don't make me cry. You push me back into the shell that I finally got out of. I can't say it's not funny how your screaming and harsh remarks make me silent, because it's not. It's not funny how both of us have learned to raise curtains. It's not funny that this isn't a letter. I should be able to tell you. I should not be able to see past your perfection, but somehow it is all I want to see. I won't forget about the girl who hid my cut hair in her closet for 5 years. The emotions. Leave the idol, the perfect love story. But how can I forget about the times you stood up for me on the bus? The times you let me join in on games with your friends. You didn't leave me out in the cold. I still don't know why you pulled me inside, wrapped a blanket around me if you were gonna leave the windows open. Why did you take the fire with you? Then again, when it was here, the flames only hurt me. When you were here, the flames were the car rides that ended in unbearable silence. There were the days that ended in fights with our mother that I could hear through my closed door. Without you, it seems easier. It's easier to fill the distance to the moon and back with love when you're gone. I'm left with only one request, a silent plea you may never see. Fly those 238,855 miles to the moon and then fly them back. Bring me pieces of the stars, smiles from the sun, photographs of memories that you'll have without me, and share them. Show me that you want me in this world. Show me that Mary Read doesn't have to work alone, that Joan of Arc still needs an army. Put away the needles and show me you can change what's behind the curtain.
So the emotional depth that is in this room right now is amazing. And the poem mentioned, you taught me what not to do. That's what I tell a lot of people. Some of these relationships that we're in are very difficult, but they're teaching you what not to do. Like they're teachers for you. Sorry. All right, judges, 7.9, an 8, 8.5, 8.7, and 8.9. All right. $26.1 for Ramie. Alright, and just a reminder, so what we're doing with scores, we're taking off the top one and taking off the bottom one. It's the middle three that we're using for scores. So that was the end of the first round. We're going to take 7-minute break. So get some bagels, take a bathroom break, get some coffee. We're going to do the scores and figure out who's going on for the second round.
Hey everybody, we're going to get started in about 1 minute. Just letting everybody know we're going to get started with round 2 in about 1 minute. We're going to announce everybody who's all the codes who advanced to the second round, okay? Alright everybody, we're about to get started with round 2. First of all, let's give all of the poets who spoke in the first round. And now what we're about to do, we're about to go forward with round 2, and we have 5 of the poets who advanced onto round 2. Those poets are Autumn, Molly, Tianna, Ivy, and Jerrell. So give them a round of applause. Keep in mind, I do want to remind everybody that all of the featured poets are going to leave with some dope stuff today. So that's a really good thing. Now we're going to call up, we're going to begin round 2, we're going to call up our first poet. I want y'all to make a little noise for Autumn.
A mother's reality. Somewhere a mother cries. She gets on her knees with sorrow in her eyes because she's lost a child that cannot come back. She's sad and now she has to face the fact that social justice has become her reality. Her child has become another victim of police brutality. We protest, riot, and gather in the streets. We scream and shout, no justice, no peace. But when the topic stops trending, we are nowhere to be found. The issue is pushed to the side and we go back to being calm and sound. Fighting against social justice isn't a simple trend. It's not something that we should take lightly, but it's something that we should bring to an end. We must stand hand in hand from coast to coast across the land to fight an issue that has continued to stand. But until we abolish the injustice, we must realize that the same mother still has the same sorrow in her eyes. She will still cry the same cries. We cannot give up on stopping police brutality from becoming mine, yours, or another mother's reality.
I really hope we are really listening to these poets. It's a lot of like truth and radical truth and empathy and honesty, and that's like very important. So I just really hope we're being present. So let's go to the scores. 8.6, 8.8, 8.65, 9.8, and 9.3. 26.75. We're going to bring up our next poet. Everybody put your hands together for Molly.
Alright, this piece is called A Letter to Officers Lohman and Garmack. In memory of Tamir Rice, 2002 to 2014. My younger sister is barely 13. She loves art and jokes and talking and all the small things that make you just laugh to yourself and look down at your feet and just barely blush. You'd understand it better if you met her, took the time to let her take you by the hand and run through puddles, jump over the white lines and street crossings, and I bet that all at once, you'd start to feel young too. Start to see the world as she might, big and bright through kaleidoscope lenses, and you wouldn't be able to help it. You'd smile at just how small and fragile we all are. My sister's skin rings white like church bells. Her youth, a pale sheet over closed eyes. She harmonizes with your sirens as they pass her by, unassuming as she floats around the corridor under streetlights. 1 2-second glance and you know. You see her lightness shine clean in your rearview mirror, whiteness, an unsung hymn for innocent. You said you only had 2 seconds. Time is as cruel a mistress as any. Minutes click and recoil, reload and cock back tick like the big hand as you methodically check your car radios, reeling in reports of a boy, black. In the late AM, melanin color-coded for criminal. Toy gun, no competition for real bullets, 2 seconds for 2 shots, torso torn red. Now, the street corner is teeming with ghosts. I can see him float through me, still not yet pale enough for his calls to cry out mercy. His sister still cries out to you. I hear her through the walls. She's telling you that her brother isn't even 13. He loves art and jokes and talking and all the small things that make you laugh to yourself and look down at your feet and just barely blush. You'd understand it better if you met him, knew his name, called him by it, took the time to let him take you by the hand and run through puddles, jump over the white lines and street crossings, and I bet that all at once you'd start to feel young too, start to see the world as he might, so sweet and innocent. You know he's innocent. You can tell he's just a little boy. Look at his eyes. Look at how they shine. Look at me, Tamir. Don't look away from me, please. Don't close those eyes. Big and bright kaleidoscope lenses, and try to tell me that you wouldn't stop then. That panic pulled that trigger. One look, one real look, and you couldn't. You wouldn't be able to help it. You'd see him and smile at just how small and fragile and fleeting we all are.
That's y'all right there. I wouldn't want to be a judge.
Let's see what the judges gonna say.
Nope.
Judges, we got a 9.2, an 8.9, a 9.6, a 10, and a 9.92. Really incredible. 28.1 is the final score for the moment. We're going to bring up the next poet, Tianna. Y'all make some noise for Tianna.
This one is entitled, Things Us Black People Are Tired of Hearing. Why do you talk so white? Can you teach me how to twerk? Popeye's a KFC. Are you in a game? Why don't you act black? Bobblish? That's new slang, right? You have good hair. Are you mixed? My cousin's friend's old dog owner was black. I'm not racist. Watermelon or fried chicken? Why can't we just let slavery go? It happened in the past. Growing up black, you always hear these questions and then some. If not all, at least one. I understand you want to learn our culture, but you gotta understand there's more to us than fried chicken and guns. You gotta grab your shovel and dig deep into our history, our roots. You gotta look at those pictures of slaves starving and barely clothed on a boat on your roots. Roots that went to Africa and eventually the US. This skin tone, this black, brown, chocolate, caramel, light brown, tan skin tone is a tint and a reminder of what our families had to go through. Don't want to say ancestors because they're still with us. Engraved with every spot of melanin you see. And it's not every day that we can walk around normally. We can't even wear a hoodie and get skills without being harassed. Trayvon got shot and killed, his murderer free, selling guns, getting a laugh. There's not a day that goes by that my skin tone isn't an immediate target on my back. Just because we're black, parents have to give their kids two talks. One about the birds and the bees, and the other is about how easy it is for you to get shot by a cop. Don't get me wrong, not all white people and cops are bad, but when you're raised with this darker skin tone, you instantly have a certain fear. When you see those blue lights in your rearview mirror, your stomach starts to turn. It gets into knots. This could be the day you get killed by one single shot, or several, since one isn't enough. And another thing, white privilege is a thing. I could have a 4.0 GPA, no records, great references, and somehow a white person surpasses me. We do work hard enough. We really do. It's just the system is doo-doo. Yes, that may be a little childish, call it what you want, but it's true. And y'all wonder why we always have attitudes because, yes, this is my real hair. No, I can't twerk. You see this flat booty? Popeyes. No, I've never been affiliated with the gang. And how are black people supposed to act? I'm supposed to smack my gum and talk illiterate, wave my hand in the air, mix. And why do I have to be mixed to have good hair? Last time I checked, ours reach for the heavens like it's waving in the air. So no one can compare these locks and curls in our head. What else? Can't you? Yes, this is my real hair. And even if it was a weave, it's still mine because I paid for it. Can't touch it. Please, please, please don't ask any more ignorant questions, especially like the last one. We'll never get over slavery because it's still happening. Modernized though. We still the ones behind the guns. We're still getting pulled over for no reason. But our season is near. We will be recognized and heard. And every word that y'all yelled and ridiculed our families with back then will get buried in the dirt along with their supremacy.
Hey! Let me focus on the judges right now. Y'all done got me hyped. Let's see what the judges say. We on the judges. Let me focus on them.
2, 9.4. 8.89. Yeah, 9.6. And 10.
All right.
All right, let's bring our next poet to the stage. We're going to bring Ivy up to the stage. Y'all make some noise, please.
Yeah.
This is Identity Crisis. Over there in my bag is a black wallet that holds my ID, my identification card, that tells you that I am Ivy S. Greenwich, I am 6 feet tall, and I have brown eyes. But that's not my identity. And that's hilarious considering my identity is having its own midlife crisis. It seems to be conflicted with my mental state and my emotional heartbreak. Plays tug of war with you are and you should be. Wrestles with you are and you can't be. Argues between I am and who am I. I am a mixture like oil and water. Who I am never correlates with who I should be. Who I should be according to this relentless suppressing society, 10 laws of demandment, and the voices of those who have been there, done that. My mind rides a carousel passing by unanswered what's and who's, then it always seems the answers I give myself are the ones that should never be spoken. Answers like, I am the ultimate target for a policeman's accidental bullet. I am the burning cross wrapped in protested rainbows. I am a misfit too misfitted to be included with misfits. I am not the crucified angel many perceive of me, not the girl who fits into the written script of society, not the dream daughter, though I try and I try and I try. And my reflection breaks out of its mirroring cage and says that I am too imperfect to ever be kissed by the lips of love. While those I hold dearly yell, you are beautiful, as if their half-hearted reassurance will somehow find a permanent dwelling in my mind. The shattered mirror in which my reflection broke free is now how I clearly see myself, too broken to ever be fixed by any kind of love. But my reflection, she standing in front of me, she is not me, and I not her. Because she had the courage and the strength to break her cage, and I am still trapped in mine. My identity. It's supposed to be me, right? Well, it's too strained between how others view me and then how I view myself. Too stressed between who I am and who I want to be. Too tired of I am and I should be, like oil and water. On accident, on purpose bullets. Bloody crosses. Protested rainbows. Who I am never correlates with who I should be. And that remains the cause of my identity crisis.
You know, I remember growing up and, you know, they used to say we were too young to talk about stuff. And I don't understand how we can still really buy into that. These young people know, and they can feel it. And you can't hide the world from you. You have to engage with them about the world. Let's go to the judges. All right, judges. 9.4. 8.9, 9, 9.7, and an 8.9. We're going to bring up our final poet of the second round, Brother Jerrell.
This piece is called Look to the Sun. It's time. It's time to walk the realms of our former stomping grounds. It's time to swallow the pill of fear, tear through the cotton fields, look deeper. Deeper than the narcotics and alcohol. Deeper than a gang of pair of guns and killing sprees for a measly $100. Americans overjoyed to see black on black bodies stacked like mountains with guns each in their hands. We have to look at the world with different eyes. No more futile futures of kids growing to be inmates. We must stop the jails and prisons that surround the pre-elementary schools and symbols of life that never had an equal chance. living in destitute, do you still believe you're on the same playing field? Still think our kids have the same opportunities to persevere? Still think racism and white privilege don't go hand in hand? You must be even more naive than your southern ancestors. Believe in slavery will thrive. Believe in Africans, not a nuisance but a black man, will reach an eternal demise. Believing that your empire would reign supreme, conspiring with your founding fathers to keep the oppressed poor and the rich so rich, to build a government so that one man can't change the tide of this nation. One man, one devil still yells, make America great again. Contemplating the entirety of the sentence. When was America even great? When was it even adequate? How long did it take to liberate the enslaved race and provide equal rights? Still in counting. How long did it take to provide equal 100% access to the polls, where we should have equal say? Still in counting. You want to count us as 3/5 of the person to represent each state, but you can't even count the votes that outweigh the Republicans. As one, we must travel through the lands and look towards the North Star. Cultivate the community into a new talented 10th. Till we see the sun rise on our horizon. Till we see a change that's not temporary, where state laws can once all over again alter the system against us. No matter what happens, we must triumph. We must practice the King's philosophy, live, learn, and love, and finally enhance. Finally reach up to the sun, not as the enslaved. With our roots engraved with past souls, we shall build the minds upon the foundation of the true African nation, where the eyes watch below.
Talk between all of these, but I'm telling you, one thing I really like, when you hear these poets speak, there's rage. And oftentimes we're told, rage isn't good, and we suppress it. We be going through things externally, internally, and if you can't express rage in art at the bare minimum, then it ain't real. So you respect that rage. Don't let people talk to you about civility when you got some rage inside you. I love hearing that in your voice. I love that. Let's go to the judges. 9.6. 8.9. 8.9. 9. 9.9. 27.5, Jerrell. Okay, now we're going to bring up our poet laureate, Marcus Amaker, who's going to perform a piece for us before we go into the third round. All right, come on, brother.
All right, can we give it up again for all the poets? I forgot if I mentioned this, but our prizes are amazing. So we're gonna have the third round, the top 3 poets from that round will compete for the first, second, and third prize. So the third prize is gonna be a $100 gift card and headphones. The second prize is $200 and a Bluetooth speaker. Right? And then y'all like, and number 1 is gonna get a Google Chrome laptop. And one of my records, I have an album on vinyl for them. Hopefully they have a record player. And a journal. And everyone who performed, as Benny mentioned, I was going to get a T-shirt from Benny Starr, and there's going to be a journal as well as some other stuff from the library. So this is a great thing. I remember when I was coming up, we would get, a hug as a thank you. That would be the only thing that we would win. So this is important to support these poets.
Get some heavy stuff.
Before we get to the third round, this is a poem about injustice against all. 2 words with 2 G's spread hate like a disease. The smoke is everywhere and I can't breathe. It only took 1 arm to squeeze the life out of an unarmed man. The only thing in his hands were the lifelines embedded in his palms. Now we stand on the front line singing songs of injustice. We are slaves to the melody, and we will hum the tune while digging graves for another life gone too soon. 2 words with 2 G's, spread hate like a disease. The smoke is everywhere and I can't breathe. What kind of world do we live in where women and men have to fight for the right to love? What kind of world do we live in where a private union is a public sin? It's the same world where Charles Manson, a convicted killer, can easily get a marriage license from jail. Is love for sale? Or is it in the hands of politicians whose lifelines have long since lost their way, whose want for one is greater than the needs of all? Donald Trump taking negative steps on the path toward enlightenment. That math doesn't add up. 2 words with 2 G's, spread hate like a disease. The smoke is everywhere and we can't breathe. Speaking of math, television promotes division. We are losers in the war for ratings. It's the great divide and we can't hide from that deception. Be mindful of the way that truth is portrayed or your mind will sway toward a negative perception. But if we open up our hands, we will see that we are united by the lifelines embedded in our palms. Don't deny that connection. NIGGERFAGGOT, 2 words with 2 G's that spread hate like a disease. The smoke is everywhere and I can't breathe. And this is not a black or white thing. This is not a gay or straight thing. This is a human rights thing. Thank you. All right, so our top 3 poets for the next round are Molly. Give it up for Molly. Ivy. And Jerrell. So I told them all to prepare 3 poems. Are you all ready? You have your 3rd poem ready? So I just threw that on you. You're coming up soon. All right, so we're gonna give you all a minute, and I'm gonna call up first Ivy. Ivy's gonna come up first. Good luck.
A language you can't understand. You can't speak it. The words don't register to your mind. The sound of it confuses you like knotted thread. It tastes sour and bitter like lemon. It is a language you can't understand. There are no classes for you to learn it. There's no recorded history for you to research it. No one you know has ever heard of it. It is the greatest open mystery to you, a man. The language you can't understand is twisted in a beautifully sorted way. It's distorted in the most musical, rhythmic way. It's deafening in the most quietest of ways. It's confusing in the most knowledgeable way. This language you can't understand. The people sing their songs in this tongue. The families pray to their gods with these words. The children laugh with the accent of this language love. These people and this language they speak, a language you can't understand. Tongues sing its songs, ears listen to its song, hearts dance to its song, souls dance and sing intertwined with this song, this language you can't understand. These people you know nothing of, this culture in which you don't belong, this love passed down since the days of Adam and Eve, this language you can't understand. Crushed by your force, banned by your loss, erased by your conquering, forgotten because of your taught history. This is how we got English, a language we don't understand.
Coming for my job, y'all are coming for my job.
Yes, yes.
I needed this. Speak my piece.
Get you a counsel.
Yes.
Put them on your council.
I need a counselor. Yes.
You need a board. Put them all on your board.
Step over. Step aside. All right, judges.
Woo.
All right, so we have an 8.7, an 8.8, a 9.3, a 9, and a 9.3. 27.3. All right, next up, let's have Jerrell come up next. Jerrell.
This next piece is called The Midnight Exoneration. 5 shots. 5 shots to the head. 5 shots to the back. 5 shots to the throat, chest, arms, and legs. And still, Midnight's melody calls me to my freedom.
It's Mike.
This piece is called The Midnight Melody. Midnight Exoneration. 5 shots. 5 shots to the head. 5 shots to the back. 5 shots to the throat, chest, arms, and legs. And still, the Midnight's melody calls me to my freedom. Linked together like coherent bonds, my worst enemy pondering the world with me. My heart sees what the eyes cannot, but we poor late nigh in this travesty. Shackles, our body from head to toe, our range no higher than the daffodils that lay below. Still, the Midnight's melody calls me to my liberation. Asunder, yet the flame still marinates in the black river. The earth's crystals and sunflower aromas give life meaning. The meaning of running, walking, crawling, even falling. Imagining the utopian dream that lays await. However, when we turn our heads, the trees disintegrate. The birds burn to crisp. The daffodils become roses of contempt. Worst of all, no one follows. Still, the Midnight's melody holler and wail, like babies yearning for comfort, like the children yearning for a persona, like the adult yearning for a life. Trees upon trees, swamps upon swamps, the melodies still sing, not the faintest crack or blunder heard. When will this journey end? When will the melody stop? The sun's gaze peel the flesh off our bodies. Another day of picking up grimy poverty. Another day of wishing never prosper into the shade of monotony. The midnight. When will it ever come for the Black River? Or will its jaunty appearance be just a gaze, just a melody, just a figment of the exoneration meant for us, meant for thee?
I am such fans of all of you poets. I'm such a fan of yours, brother. And everyone who's up here. I am a fan. All right, we got 8.91.
That's deep.
8.9. A 9. 9.2. And another 9.2. Okay, I just remembered I'm not supposed to announce the scores at the end, so we so we know, so you all don't know who wins. So, next up.
They got calculators.
Next up is Molly. Give it up for Molly.
And before I begin, this poem does contain a slur, the F one. It's not meant to be disrespectful or anything. If anyone wants to step out because it makes them feel uncomfortable, I will not be offended by all means. Well, this poem is called What F Stands For.
All right.
I feel the word flows too freely. I fear it even, almost as if it forms an ashen fingerprint on your lips, a finite pinprick on otherwise perfect fingers. Hey, faggot. Seems you and I both like F words. We're fond of how they fly from ear to ear, small whispers of an ember kiss, fleeting hiss, before finality combusts into the first degree. Your F word might as well be my friend. We've been friends since I first found myself fiddling rainbow flags between my fingers, and I wonder if I ever made you fidget. if fag ever found its way into your mind frame and made you freeze. If the day I told you I'm made up of F words, you feigned one yourself as you flocked to me, told me frankly through my frightened tears, funny, you always did seem a bit faggy. I still can't tell if you were forcing it, if those feelings I saw before me were nothing but facade. See, you use your F's more frequently, I found. Something in that first flux makes you feel fine. You like to see the fight in it. Watch it flinch with every syllable, watch it itch with formulaic fear from years and years and years of, hey, watch it, fag, I'll fuck you up. You find it near fantastical, foreign, so hysterical it's futile. Who would have thought us fags have feelings? It's almost too funny how you call your F words fireworks. See, they used to set us on fire, you know, hung us out on Faustian crucifixes. See, we're great at burning. See, they burned us faggots in furnaces decades ago, our skin kindling on flames bigger than would-be farewells. See, they burned us faggots in nightclubs months ago, our feeble bones breaking with firecracker blasts through the back. See, they burned us faggots in our bedrooms days ago. My mother's eyes, fiery, fuming, falconine, in frantic panic. Hell hath no fury to a, don't wear your father's shirts. It makes you look like a fag. Funny. The day I told you I don't like your F words, you threw a fast one at me through your teeth like a flashlight. Now, you're asking me if I'm angry. I'm furious. I'm on fire. I'm more fanatic than you'll ever hear because you'll never have to fear the words that rhyme with fear. Never feel your skin sear with biblical jeers at the stake, my stakes, a tongue on fire, gates of hell too near, too high to hang my noose over, too hot for tears, claws, and fawning frenzy buzz in your ear. I'll claw and claw and claw and claw to make sure you hear because I am still here. I am here. I am here and I am quiet. I am quiet. Hey, faggot. Funny. Seems you and I both like F words.
I am sweating because I like this so much. This is, thank you all. Okay, so, judges, what do we got? Whoa, okay. We have a 9.3. Boo, I mean, you know, whatever. 9.6, 9.9, 9.999, and a 10. All right, so give me 32 seconds and we're going to figure out winners. All right, so I'm going to call up Benny Starr. We're going to hand out the prizes and stuff. Yeah. All right, so thank you all so much for being here and experiencing this. Again, this is beautiful, safe space audience. You guys are great. Sometimes it takes a while for audiences to get voices slam, young and old, but listen, really listen, because what's happening is we're in interesting times, I'll just say that. And I really appreciate hearing all sides of what's going on, so it's beautiful. You want to say anything?
Again, like, we can't, sometimes in the South there's this thing about, you know, being nice. Sometimes it's not about being nice, it's about justice. And I just really want to stress that. I want to really affirm the greatness of those poets But I don't just want to affirm the greatness of those poets because of their skill, because of their technical skill, because of their stories, because of the actual people that they are that fuel their art. But I want to affirm your rage. Righteous rage is not a bad thing at all, no matter what anybody tells you. Keep expressing yourself, and I love you. All right.
All right, so we're gonna call up, we're gonna let y'all know who won this thing. In third place, winning $100 and earbuds, yes, is Jerrell. And number,
Do the pose. Do the pose. Get them poses in. There you go.
winning $200 and a Bluetooth speaker is Ivy. I'm the tallest one here. All right. Winning a laptop and a record is me. No, I'm just kidding. Is Molly. So we want all of so we want all of the poets to come up because we all have gifts for all of you as well. Thank you all for being here. My name is Marcus and Amaker. If you all want to talk to me about more events like this, I have a card. We can talk. Be safe getting home. See you all later.
Few minutes seems like a whole Hey Joe, maybe you can walk down.
Hold up. Against it?
Make sure to get your shirt.
So mine. So 9 is not.
Can I talk to all y'all? Even though you're working with the phone, all these contacts, I've got to answer. I can post up video. So you can't say how come I didn't connect. You can't look at that. Sometimes hold your phones up as if memorizing on you. But eye contact, can't connect. We want to look into your soul.
Where are you going?
Girl. Not even that, you just did hard because I know when that's the very from all day, that's a whole lot. Don't just come from off the surface.